What's up guys, Yosh here, and I'm here to talk about the Retroid Pocket 2. Now this handheld is the first time I've ever ordered an emulation handheld ever. I've always been interested in ordering one, and when I saw the Retroid Pocket 2 arrive and the reviews online, it hinted at being a great starter emulation device, and I took my chance to grab it. It took about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks for processing and stuff like that, and then after it shipped, it took about another 3, almost 4 weeks. So you're looking at almost a 2-month frame from when you order it to when you receive it. Now this is when the device first started making its rounds. I got into the second wave of pre-orders. I got the awesome Super Nintendo US version finish, and this thing is beautiful. It's built great, and it's actually very light. And let's just get into how this thing looks and the face buttons, and let's show you guys how awesome this system really is. All right, y'all are gonna see my reflection here, but oh well, I don't really care. This is a beautiful device. I'm sorry if my hands are a little dirty. Let's first look at this joystick. The joystick really reminds me of like a Nintendo Switch joystick, except you can't click it down. Other than that, it's very good. It feels super comfortable. I really enjoy playing most of my games, honestly, just with this stick. Even my fighters, it feels super comfortable. Next up, we have the D-pad right here. It reminds me of a DS D-pad, except it's not as squishy. It's a little bit more clicky than I'd like it to be. This is only really, honestly, comfortable for me personally when I'm playing Game Boy games or Nintendo games. Other than that, I usually stick with the analog stick up here. You also have your right stick right here. It's a digital slider. It reminds me of kind of like the DS, except it's a little bit more stiff. The 3DS, I mean. And it also reminds me of the PSP. Also, it's a little bit more fluent than the PSP, but you're really honestly not going to use this much with this device. Then you have your face buttons. It's in the Nintendo format. You have your B, A, Y, X buttons. These have a little click to them. They're not as squishy as I like them to be, but they're also not terrible. They're very responsive, and I enjoy, honestly, like using it. It's a very comfortable. It feels more comfortable than a PSP or a PS Vita for sure. You also have your home, select, and start buttons. These act also as some Android buttons. This is of course your home button, and your select button acts as your app drawer. Let's look at the top right here. We have our shoulder buttons, our R and our L, and our ZR and ZL. These feel super responsive, super comfortable to use. It also reminds me of kind of like the Joy-Con setup as far as the with the Switch and everything like that. All right, and then of course you have your power button, and then you have your volume key, volume plus, your volume down. It uses USB-C, and also it has an HDMI out. I will be using this to show you guys some gameplay, along with just how the system in general looks. Now this device is pretty standard. It's not the most powerful device. They say it plays up to Dreamcast and PSP games. I've tested over a dozen Dreamcast games and a handful of PSP games, and I can say that is just not absolutely the case with this system. With the only Dreamcast game I've gotten to run at least flawlessly is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The PSP has some frame issues, but Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is pretty playable on here. Patapon, I was playing that earlier. But other than that, I gotta test a few more PSP games in order to really give you a solid look into the PSP emulation with this. It's rocking a 4X Cortex A7 1.5 gigahertz CPU. The RAM is 1 gigabyte of DDR3. Storage is 8 gigabytes of internal storage. It also comes with a 32 gigabyte SD card, which will house your software for the Retroid software, which I'll get into later on in the review. Graphics is an ARM MAL 400 MP2, 500 megahertz. It's pretty standard. Display is 640 by 480, and it runs up to 60 frames. Also, it's a 3.5 inch screen. It's pretty spacious, and it gets the job done for sure. You also have built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. You can connect Bluetooth controllers and also connect to the internet, which is a great thing because this also uses Android 6.0. So you can connect to the Google Play Store. You can also download games from there, and you can also connect and add apps to customize your launcher software. Of course, the Type-C USB, like I said, it is at the top right here. It also you can plug in a gamepad, a joystick, a keyboard, a mouse, and extra storage through here as well. It's such a universal, and I'm so glad more emulation softwares or handhelds are getting this kind of treatment. It's great. All right, and the charging takes about 2.5 hours. Also, I forgot to mention the bottom of the device. This is your SD card slot right here. It's a little rubber pad. Let's see if I can open this here. A little tough. I just clipped my nails. There's a SD card slot underneath this rubber pad and your headphone jack at the bottom. I like that the headphone jack is at the bottom and not the top. A little uncomfortable, but this has Bluetooth, and I mostly use my Bluetooth headphones for that. Super useful. Now, I'm going to power on the device here, and I'm just going to show you guys some pretty cool stuff. Now, this is the, it boots straight up into here. Let's see if we can, there we go. That looks much better. It boots up everything pretty standardly. These are my go-tos here as far as my emulation. I use Retroarch for pretty much everything else. The Drastic DS Emulator. This is a very, very important emulator. It runs DS games very, very well. And then you have your Nintendo 64. This is comes with the system, your Mupen. It runs, you have to definitely do the different profiles for different games, but it runs very, very well on this device. Other apps that came on this game with this is, we can look right here in this folder. Oh wait, this is actually the wrong folder, my bad. We can press B to go back here. Here it is right here. Now we have the classic dig software here. I'll show you guys some of that later if you guys would like. You have Classic Boy, you have the PPSSPP. I just use Retroarch for everything else. Flycast, N64 OID. The only thing, this is a great emulator, but the only thing is it does not work well with setting up buttons with this. So this is almost a useless, honestly, emulator for this device. If people figure out how it works, that'll be amazing. So whenever you're in the device, you can hold, I just hit my camera, my bad. You can hold this home button right here for a few seconds, and what that does is it activates a mouse, and then you can use this to do a lot of things, like pull down the app drawer up here. You know, we're at 62%. We're already connected to our internet. All that's fine stuff. It works fantastic. All right, so let's also get into the Retroid Pocket app. I'll show you guys how this looks and what it's also can be used for. All right, this is the Retroid Pocket app. It has some games on here already built in right when you install this. The one thing I will say that this is perfect for is arcadey games. your fighters, your game standard arcade games. Tekken 3 is phenomenal. Mario Kart 64 is fun just to boot up and play a few rounds. Super Mario 64 works great. This also comes with the device. You also get your Famicom / NES games, your Super Nintendo games. It even comes with Game Boy Advance games built in, regular Game Boy games, Game Boy / Game Boy Color, Mega Drive, which is also Genesis, and I honestly don't know this system. I didn't look too much into it. And then your DS, it only comes with one Dreamcast games, which is named improperly, but it is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, obviously. You know, the one thing I will say is the greatest part is just the arcade games and the arcade choices here. There's some of them is a little overbearing. What I have done was you can go to the menu by holding home here. So when you go to the menu here, you can go to enter your game settings right here, and then you can go to delete game. All right, and when you go here, you can choose which games you want to delete or keep. I have not finished going through all the games that I wanted to keep yet, but it is there for you to go through. The only problem is you do have to go through them one by one. You can't go through them, like, you can't choose multiples. Like if I don't want Rampart, I have to click this and hit I know, and it deletes. All right, so we're gonna go back. And all the games on here honestly run fantastic. It has its own store, and this is an awesome option for people who just want to just pick this up and play it, install, and it is phenomenal for that. The only issue is that we can only have one save state. So let's load up Marvel vs. Capcom 2 here. All right. We can get the volume up a little here. You probably won't be able to hear it, but as you can see, this works fantastic on this device. It's gonna run pretty decently, but I'm gonna show you guys how a lot of the games look whenever we get to the end of this video. So when you are in here, you can open up the in-game menu by this. Now you see how it has save state and load state. Those are the only two options you have. You cannot have multiple states, which is honestly terrible. But that's why I said this software is wonderful for if you want that arcade experience. Just look at Metal Slug. We can pick Metal Slug. It honestly loads pretty fast. And once it gets through the Neo Geo Pro Gear spec and all that stuff, it's just when we want to insert a coin, you just press select. So we can just add 5 coins here, press start, play, and then we are in. We are already in, and if you want to just enjoy that arcade experience, it's just so good. And Metal Slug is just one of the best games just to have that fun, quick arcade experience here. So that is pretty much an amazing part. And then, like I said, we can save the state here. Let's continue on. And then if I wanted to, let's just open it up, load state. We're back to where we were right here. So it's useful for certain things, but it's really not for others. If you beat a level in Metal Slug, you want to add some more coins, and you just want to keep your state to that level and continue, go ahead and do that. Now, if you want to, now the Retroid Pocket, like I said, is great for that, and it's great for just pick up and play if you don't feel like loading in all your ROMs and everything like that for the system. So if you want to revert back to the Android, you're just going to go to switch system and it'll reboot to open source Android right here. And now it's going to go back. It's going to revert. This is a boot screen that I didn't show y'all earlier, but the boot actually does take quite some time. As we were waiting for this to end. Should be coming any minute now. Now the boot time does take a while. It is using Android. It is using Android 6.0, which is honestly a slower Android system. They do have the 8.1 version available, but supposedly there are a lot of bugs right now. So the community is definitely working on that. Now this is a custom wallpaper I've gotten, and this is also a custom launcher. I will give you details on which launcher I use in the description below. It is the Android TV launcher. It works phenomenal. I paid the extra $3 just to have the folder options and some other awesome options available. It's really works really well, and it just makes this device feel more like a console. Like I said, there is also the Dig launcher that you can use, which is, you know, it's a little complicated, but it's not at the same time. But honestly, most of the time I just use this Android TV launcher for Android. It just works perfectly the way it does. Now here is the device plugged into the HDMI port. We do have some pretty decent quality here. Of course, it's not going to be the best. It's 640 by 480 going into a 1080 screen. So when we go here to Retroarch is the main launcher that I use. What I do advise is that you uninstall the Retroarch that comes with it and reinstall, because what happened to me is that most of my PlayStation ROMs were not playable, and they weren't playable until I reinstalled the Retroarch app. Retroarch is your all-in-one, and this is what makes this system phenomenal. I will just go to one of my favorite, honestly, games as a kid, Ready to Rumble. All right, so I'm going to show you how it looks and how it runs. If you guys want any other looks at any other games, please feel free to just comment on what you guys want to see, and I will do my best to show you guys what this system is capable of. Now I have start and select as my quick menu button setup. Yours may be different on however you prefer. All right. The good thing is this is Android. There are plenty of guides online that will show you how to use Retroarch on your Android device. So we're going to load the state that we're already in, because honestly, I love this game. So we're going to just do, right now we're doing some title fights here. So let's go to title fight, and then we are going to do our versus match. So we're going against Gino Stiletto, and the sound works wonderful in this game. I don't have it going through for some reason. I was hoping it would be able to go through pretty well, but it does not look that way. There's my volume right there. All right. So as you guys can see, this works really good. Ooh, ooh, whoa. And then boom, boom. Come on, Gino. Come on, boy. Oh, shit. Ooh. Got him. All right. And then all the buttons work. I mean, the face buttons are lined up just as the PlayStation would be. So it's awesome. Oh, shit. He's trying to get me. All right, let's use our Rumble now, and let's get him. Boom, bah, boom, got him. All right, we're just gonna finish this little title fight. You know, usually the fights in this game don't last any more than a few seconds if you know what you're doing. I I got like right back in the rhythm of things when I installed this game. So we are the winner. There we go. So now that we won, you know, of course we want to make sure this progress has saved, so you can start and select and save the state. The good thing about Retroarch 2 is you can choose different state slots. You pick here, you have 0 through however many. So that's the great thing about it. So we're going to keep it at 0 though, because that is obviously our save state. All right, so now let's close this content. All right, that's just a little taste of Retroarch and how it runs. The core I am using is, I think, the PC, let me see, Set Core Association. Yeah, I downloaded all of them just to test them all out. The PCSX rearmed core for Sony works like a dream. I haven't had any issues with any of my PlayStation games with this. So now we're just going to quit Retroarch here, get out of it. All right, and let's show you guys Drastic. Drastic is awesome. So we're going to continue from where we left off. I was in the middle of playing Pokemon. All right, now we have this. Just looks great. It feels great. And it just looks phenomenal. Now, sometimes I think I'd rather use the D-pad for DS games, because using the control stick just does not feel the best. So let's get into a little battle here. So, of course, with the DS, you know, it's like, how are we going to see what we're going to do? How are we going to see how this fight is going to go, right? You can select a button. So I have it as my right trigger. When I press that, you can see it at the top right corner. We're going to fight. And then we're just going to use pound here. My boy Pip, you know, getting that work done. The Wild Bidoof used tackle. It's all right. It's all right. Let's just continue fighting here. And we're gonna get him knocked out, and then we will probably just get out of here shortly after, you know. All right, we took out Bidoof right there. Now we can just get out of our little menu at the top right, because we do not need it. All right, and then we're gonna run out this way. All right, and then I think I forgot how to get to the menu, actually. No, that wasn't it. I think, oh yeah, I have it as my, if I press this, and I have it right here, it's invisible. And I just press the A button. These are all my different options that I can use and do things for, and it's great. All right, and then we can go to our menu here. This is how your options, your screen layout, your edit screens and virtual pad. It just takes a little fooling around with, and once you get those kinks worked out and stuff like that, it is great. We're gonna hit here, and we're just gonna close the DS. All right, and then we're just gonna go home. All right, now if we open this up, it shows that the Drastic is still loading on. So we can hold the select button and it'll open up our app drawer. Now we can take off the cursor. Retroid is still open, as you see. We can close that, close that, close that by using the X button. All right. And this is, of course, Mupen 64 Plus. This is going to be your go-to for running Nintendo 64 games. I haven't found the right launcher for Donkey Kong 64. It honestly doesn't play that well. Mario Golf is upsetting because the screen blacks out on certain things. But I do have my favorite game, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Now the settings I have for this game to run really well. Let's get this to load up here. All right, emulation profile, I use Glide N64 Fast. That is the best way to play this game. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Now with Mupen64, you can set it up how you want. I have the C button set up as my right stick. My Z button is ZR, and then A and B is their respective buttons, of course. So that is the launcher for this and how everything looks. I hope you guys kind of liked how I showed it off or anything like that. Like I said, if you guys want me to test anything else out, I will be more than happy to on this device, so I can show you guys what it's capable. But yeah, so there you guys go. That is the Retroid Pocket 2, a phenomenal device for the price of $80 plus $10 shipping if you use the cheapest shipping option. Like I said, the emulation for Dreamcast and PSP isn't the greatest, but up to PlayStation 1, this device flawlessly emulates everything else. It is a steal, a must-have for any emulation handheld or even gamer friends. Let your friends know about this device because it is worth the money. If you want to play all the Pokemon games up to DS, hello? This. If you want to play all the Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation, hello? This. If you want an arcade machine for fighters and Metal Slug and all that, hello? This. It is worth every penny, and I cannot put it down. I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth analysis. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends so we can just look at this awesome device together. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment down below or just follow me on one of my social media platforms, and I'll be happy to talk with you guys about the Retroid Pocket 2. Now please excuse me as I continue to play some Ready to Rumble boxing.